Hello everyone and welcome to a brand new hardware review today with a headset. This is the GAMDIAS HEBE M1 RGB 7.1 virtual sound vibration. It has a long name. It was sent to us by the kind people at GAMDIAS. They've sent us this and also the mouse here, the Zeus mouse, and I believe the Hermes keyboard, which I'm gonna get to over the course of the next month, maybe 2 months, because I also have to review the monitor that's right next to me right now. So, are these headphones any good? Well, stay tuned to find out in this very detailed review. Now, the first thing I'd like to point out about these headphones is that they're not built like the Trust GXT 363, which I've told you before, have broken in two. Because these headphones have two metal bands, metal straps that give them enough rigidity so that you won't have any problems with these. Like, you can flex them, you can turn them, you can do anything you want to them, unless you're really focused on actually breaking them in two. And I don't know, you have a metal saw, a clamp or something, some wire cutters. Yeah, these are not going to break by accident, by letting them fall, by throwing them against the wall. Well, yeah, the plastic may break, but these, no. These will not break because they're metal. Always go for headphones with more metal in them, because they won't break that easily. In terms of, the way they're built, I mean, besides the metal, they have these very big ear cups. Now, initially when I first put them on, I sort of thought that they may exert a bit too much pressure on your skull and you may have some ear pain. Well, that's not the case. These cover my ears completely. Like, I'm actually, by reflex, I start talking louder when these are over my head because I cannot hear myself as well. It's a side effect of, these actually having okay sound cancellation. Like, you won't necessarily hear everything that's going on around you. So, yeah. They may be very good for horror games too, or if there's a burglar behind you and you don't want to find them, that they may also be useful for that. Also, they do not exert enough pressure on your skull. Like the metal bands aren't actually tight enough to cause you ear pain or something like that. So it's actually a very comfortable set to wear. Though we are in August right now, it is kind of hot, and these, well, your ears will be in a constant sauna if you use them and you don't have air conditioning or a way to ventilate yourself. And I don't think that drilling holes into these will be any good, because they do have the 15mm drivers and they have the bass vibration motors, and they also have the RGB lighting, which I'm going to turn on right now for a couple of seconds just so you can see the way it breaks the effect behind me. Okay, that's actually the bass vibration. No, this button. Voila. You can customize these. The colors will just shift from wherever they want to whenever they want to in that specific order. You can only turn them on or off. There's no other options. The remote is chunky enough, like it's gigantic. Like, it may be actually a bit too big than it needs to, but it still fits hand okay. Like, the volume buttons are placed well enough, like they're in your hand. Though much like I said on the Trust GXT 363, I do not like the fact that these are digital volume controls. Like, these change the volume you have in Windows, so you're just messing with the Windows sound and not with the headphone sounds themselves. Also, on the remote, you also have a button that shuts off the microphone and again the lighting. Other tidbits about the build quality: as I said in the unboxing, the strap has some foam on it. The cables here are long enough so that they won't actually break even if this bungee cord that keeps it in place breaks. And yeah, the cable is a braided thing with a sort of sleeve on the inside, so it's pretty much unbreakable, I'm guessing. One thing that sort of disappointed me a bit is that the microphone doesn't actually extend all that much. Like, this is as much as it extends. It'll basically come at about around here, and yeah, I guess it works. Honestly, I would have hoped it would have gone a bit further, though then you would have been in the problem of it picking up your voice. I mean, not your voice, your breath. Though that's actually not its biggest problem. In terms of testing, well, I've done the usual tests with the stuff that I haven't had over the internet to determine exactly how well these work, and well, they sound quite nice. There are some issues with certain frequencies being a bit inconsistent. I found that in the lows, like between 150 to 170 hertz, there's a bit of a dip in frequency. Like instead of it going up like this, it goes a bit down and then up again. And there are some bits in the middle, like in the mid ranges, that kind of feel a bit wobbly. So you may notice a bit of anomalies if you're listening to music, but again, these are not what you'd call audiophile grade headphones, but for games they can do quite well. Also, something important to note, the bass on these is great. Like without the vibration engine, the bass response on these actually sounds great. Like it picks up bass from 20 kilohertz. Actually it picks up from 10. I think from 10 hertz. It has very good bass response, which sort of makes the vibration aspect of it kind of unnecessary and honestly damaging, because since the moment you engage this, you actually hear hum. When this is off, you don't hear any hum. It does have the same problem that the Trust ones did, where you would have a coil one. These do not have any sort of coil one, but when you turn on the engine, you can hear it. Like even when it's stopped, you can hear it humming, and that can be a bit annoying. More so since this is not a multi-stage selectable vibration thing like the Trust ones had. There's only on and off. There's no middle setting where it's sort of on but not at its fullest potential. So that means that stuff like my voice will trigger the bass vibration quite often, and it's basically incomprehensible. It is a bit strong. It's maybe not as practical as it could be, and especially since the headphones already have, I'd say, quite a good bass response. And yeah, they're good for listening to music. Like I said, there may be some oddities in certain tones, but they don't ruin songs. It's what I'm saying. Now comes for the all important bit. Are these actually 7.1 or not? Well, they're not. I mean, no stereo headphone is 7.1. That's what stereo means. Stereo means two cups, two drivers, that's stereo. But does it actually have virtual 7.1 emulation? And the answer is yes. You can actually get it to output other channels than stereo. You can set it in Windows to have full 7.1 stuff. You can set it to, have every one of the virtual speakers wherever you want them. But there's a bit of a caveat. I don't believe the emulation is as good as it was on the Trust ones. I guess the positioning is not superb, especially in the back. You just don't get the sense that the sound is fluidly moving from one virtual spot to another. They're more shifting from left to right, which is what they would normally do with stereo as well, and not very well processed sound. But it's still manageable. It's still an okay feature to have, especially because you do also get the larger sense of scale when you're listening to music, like you would on the Trust ones. So when you turn this on, you get a better sense of a sense of vastness of the music. Like you're hearing it from a larger scene, a larger stage, which it can be a nice effect if you want your music to sound a bit more bombastic. The headphones also come with the Hera software, which is actually something that's common for all of the GAMDIAS equipment. Like you have the same software for both the mouse, the keyboard, and the headphones. They all work out of the same place. There is no different software for each of them, and it lets you. Well, you can't customize the lighting. You can customize the 7.1, the speaker configuration and stuff, but there are a few bits of it that don't seem completely functional. Like you can't really set certain things like you should. Also, I'm gonna get to the microphone soon. There are a few functions for the microphone that don't seem to work, like voice cancellation, and there was one more that I forgot. Oh yeah, I think it was echo cancellation or something. There's one of them. Oh, the pitch shifter doesn't seem to be working, and I don't know exactly why. Or maybe because I believe they actually got the support for these headphones quite not a long time ago, so maybe it's not complete. Maybe that's why. You can also set all sorts of other stuff like environmental effects. You can make these sound like they're coming out of a bathroom or something. I don't know why you would, but you can. It's something you can do in the software. And now comes for the hard part, the microphone. Here's the thing, I've searched over the web to see if maybe it's this microphone, maybe something happened to it, or if it sounds like this for everyone, and I sort of found that in some cases it seemed to have sounded better for other people. For me, it's kind of bad. There is a very, very loud and noticeable sound floor at about minus 30 to 20 decibels, which is quite high. Like this thing, this has a sound floor of about 54 to 60 minus from minus 60 to 54 decibels, which is still kind of high, but it's a lot better than this thing. And if you turn on the volume boost, the microphone boost in Windows, it sounds like one of those microphones you would get for $5 about 15 years ago, the ones that were absolute crap. So here's the overview of the microphone. Just as a warning, at about 50 seconds in, you may want to turn on the volume. This is a test of the microphone that comes equipped with the GAMDIAS HEBE M1 headset. It is currently about 2 centimeters away from the corner of my mouth, and the microphone is being run at its full volume potential without any microphone boost being added. This is the GAMDIAS microphone with microphone boost added. This is the same test with the microphone set to 50% volume with boost on. For comparison, this is the Behringer C1U 2 centimeters in front of my face, set to its full volume with no filters. The microphone equipped on the HEBE M1 RGB headphones also comes with features that enable you to modify the voice itself. Key shifting and vocal cancellation do not seem to actually function. However, this is the echo option as it sounds right now. You can probably hear an echo that is currently being increased and now decreased. This is the voice shifter, now giving me the voice of a
dinosaur. This is the voice of a
drop. I do not know what a drop is. This is the
default male voice, and this is the voice that allows you to sound more
like a female. These seem to function.
This is a test meant to highlight the sound isolation capabilities of the microphone when placed roughly around 15 centimeters above a keyboard with TTC brown switches. This is the same test being run on a Behringer C1U that is placed roughly around 15 centimeters above a keyboard equipped with TTC brown mechanical switches. Yeah, like I said, not all that great, but it's not a good microphone, like at all. It even picks up sound more than I should have thought it would be. It says that it's a unidirectional microphone, meaning it would want to pick up things that are pointed sort of in this direction, I'm guessing. But it does pick up the keyboard quite well, and that's kind of a bit disappointing, especially with the large amount of noise that it already has behind it. So, would I recommend these headphones? In a sense, yes. Like I said, there are some issues with the frequency response being a bit wobbly in places, and the microphone is kind of but they are comfortable. This makes them very resilient. They have good bass. The vibration can go a bit overboard, and you also have these lights, which are kind of cool in a certain way, even though you never get to see them. They're a snug fit. They will keep you warm, very, very warm. And they do have the functional, workable 7.1 emulation. They also cost about, if I'm getting this right, around 20 bucks more than the Trust ones. Are they worth that much? When it comes to performance, well, they don't have that annoying coil whine, so maybe, though again, Trust did say that that was a particularity of my headset, so I'm not sure if other headsets have that problem. But would you pay $20 more for them? Well, considering that they have this and they won't break, yeah, maybe. It's your decision. I'm just saying that for the most part, these are okay headphones. Like, I don't have much to complain about them if it's not related to the microphone or the fact that they do have some bits and bumps in the frequency. But the frequencies that they do output, and they output everything, they do sound quite well. Like, music sounds good, you know, again, apart from the bits and bobs, but small noises, little things, they pop, they sound exactly how they should. They are, for the most part, quite clear. Like, even the slightest sound is quite clear, though maybe they may not possibly be on the same frequency they should be, but hey, they work. They absolutely work. So I'm guessing this will be a bit about the review of the GAMDIAS HEBE M1 RGB. I keep having to look back there because you may have noticed that I have gotten the name GAMDIAS wrong several times in previous reviews. I keep calling them GAMDIAS because, you know, Midas, the Midas touch, Zeus, Hermes, Minoan, Greek. Though a Dias would also fit. I mean, it's the not the hourglass, the sundial thing, I guess. Well, that would be about it. I'm gonna be back soon with well, the next show next week on this day was gonna be a What About Tabula Rasa, the old MMO that I used to play and that died. I am gonna make a show about it because I finally got back some of the screenshots that I had lost a couple of years ago. And after that, we're gonna have a review of this big boy, the LG needs to find a better naming scheme for its monitor's display. Yeah, the one with FreeSync and DisplayPort and everything else. I'm gonna see you again back then. Well, I'm gonna see you anytime you check the channel because we have shows every day, sometimes 2 a day. We have quite a lot of them. Check them out. Well, actually, yeah, you can even share them. And YouTube's not gonna pay us anything for them because, you know, ads are going downstairs and killing themselves. But hey, at least we'll be famous and starving. Goodbye.